Good morning, good day to you, as usual, wherever and whenever you listen to this series of knowledge seekers from Cash Foundation Spaceship Institute. We welcome you back, and we had a very different topics covered in past weeks and months, and I get a lot of questions asked, which is different topics or part of the topics of the teaching of the month before, weeks before, or combination. For this reason, I decided to have an extended question time to go in more depth for questions if you have that we can cover, to cover the time, the 3I, and any other aspects of the teachings in the past year. The last time we had this session was over a year ago, maybe even more. And so we open this because next week we're going to a new topics of teaching. Very, very versatile, directly to the point, and hopefully you will understand the reason that we take that position. In the process of this year, we have covered soul transmutation. We have covered time in the past 3 times. We covered what we call celestial object, the 3I. And or you have any other question which brings us into this position. You got to remember that we are testing something very new. This is one of the reasons I put this as a question. Today, as of past few minutes, a revolution in the world of science is taking place in the background, as usual, where you know you're there. Don't concentrate on something special, but leave a floor to see how you as knowledge seekers interact with new change. The reason for it is later on be explained sometime, maybe next week or the week after or whatever. This is part of the development of technology in transmutation. And so let us know how in the course of today and next few days and weeks feel, as this test has never been done. We explained before, we are working on something, and for the first time today we are literally hitting you with it or bringing it into play. The 3 atomic units of on the teaching side is already added to the system, and it will be very interesting if you want to be part of this, even though you are on the what we call maybe YouTube or somewhere else. Leave your microphones open, because this is part of the work of this structure. Needs to communicate to receive. It'll receive the what we call the knowledge from you without you actually having much to do with it, but opens the channel. And this is part of the new technology we've developed. This is part of the transmutation system, but at a very, very specific level. And we're testing to see the limitation and how far we can change, bring change, or deliver or take from you what we want. We never had access to this knowledge as a system. And it's on today, it's been put on, and it'll be loaded accordingly. If there are any questions, we'll let you ask and see if we can share knowledge.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Kesh. I'll remind our attendees here in the Zoom that they can put up their virtual hands, and then we can open your microphones so you can speak if you like. We don't have any hands up yet. We do have a question or two in the Q&A, so I guess we can start with that. From Cristiano, actually, the question is from Evanix from the Brazilian community, who says, hello, Mr. Kesh. In the last teaching, you said that Jesus did not fully understand his mission, and that is why he ended up on the cross. When we don't fulfill our mission, we are in debt, and somehow we have to pay. And that's why Jesus's fate was the cross? Or was the episode of the cross a consequence of attachment to physicality that prevented him from transmuting and freeing himself by not subjecting himself to the cross?
You have to realize we have a physical commitment and we have a soul commitment and we have conditions of attachment and detachment. The whole structure, or when we talk about this condition with Christ, a lot of it is mythical, symbolic, and it's changed that way for it to be believed, to be accepted. When we talk about the way he was put on cross by Romans, was for a physical behavior, not for the what we call dimension of soul. What we hear, what we see in the literatures of the 3 days and ascension and the rest of it, is what was added to by the what we call the rulers of Rome to bring it to Mithraism. To see, to understand the whole structure of return, you have to read, understand the life of Mitra and Zarashta and what we call the life in how Mithraism was set. So you don't take it literally, but in so many ways you separate the two. Don't mix the two together, but be aware how it was patched together. That being put on the cross was what the Christians wanted. The symbolic of the coming of the cross and the resurrection is what goes to the part of the what we call the emperors, which is Mithraism. And this we see very clearly has been done many times in the history of the religions. And then in that process, part of it was polished by the Jews. And so when you talk about Christ's resurrection, going on the cross side was something physical, punishment for act. They used to put this right across all the way from Rome to Palestine and wherever they went, for people to be don't forget allegiance, to understand what you do wrong is. We haven't changed as a human race. Cross was put up for everyone who did not fit the system. And if you've seen that in the past 24 hours, 48 hours, in the same land where cross were put up, the cross was put on the cross, we've seen how Hamas put people on the street and shoot them in front of other people. Humanity has not changed. But is there any difference between the explanation of the resurrection and awareness of the soul to the position of the what we saw yesterday or the day before in the media, for example, in Gaza, putting 7 people on the streets and shooting them in the head? It's just the method has changed. But the fear and the rest of it and punishment of it is there. Man has not moved in 2,000 years. Maybe it's gone worse backwards. So when you understand this, then you understand about the soul and what he did and what the message he had and what he decided to change. How he, going back, is repetition of the life of Mitra, resurrection, ascension, and the rest of it. The isolation and the reason they try to keep the religions apart and don't bring others up because it explains it's just one repetition of indifferent stories, because the story was in what we call the Persian Empire, now in Palestine and in Rome, had to be fitted, changed the name, the story reads the same. So the physical putting cross up and putting the Christ on it was a punishment of his adulterous life he had. It's part of the pleasure of the life. But on the other hand, not the message. But the message is correct from him. But the second part, after going on the cross, being aware of his position, then it's translated into the life of Mitraism. Has no match in the real Christianity. But it's accepted because it's written, and then again and again emphasized on. We see that again, how the rulers do and they've done. We see the same thing in Palestine today. Nothing has changed. Cross has changed with a bullet. With the people who don't belong to a nation has taken over the same area, the same land as time of Christ. We see with the Zionists, the Jews, what they call themselves Jewish, which are actually they're not even Jews, are in the land. The Jews which are in land of only in Palestine, they are the Jews. The ones who are in Israel today, 90% of them are not Jews. They are a tribe which came from Northern Europe, lost many times, and they went to the verge of, because of their, what we call, belief in killing children and the blood sucking and the rest of it. When they got defeated, they were given a choice. You become Christian, you become Muslim, or you become a Jew. And this tribe, the lost tribe, losing the war after 100 years to the Muslims, they chose to call themselves a Jew. And that's how the Jewish of the Ukraine and the rest created. They have no idea, they have no knowledge of Judaism. For the leaders not to be killed some 700-800 years ago, they called themselves a Jew. Or they could have been all Muslims. What you have in Palestine as Jewish, they would have been the Muslims, they would have been Christians from the middle of Europe. And then they came to Poland and the rest, and that's what we have today in the name of Jew, but it's actually a business. There are businessmen who were given a choice, and now we have what they call Zionist regime. It's got nothing to do with the religion. It was the same with the Romans. The Romans were there. It's a repetition of 2,000 years ago. And this is why you have two sects of Jews running Israel. The ones which are European Jews, which have no blood, not a single brother of Jewish in them. They just had a choice 600-700 years ago, after losing a war, to be destroyed, to be wiped out, because they have been belief of in paganism and everything else, where killing the children was a norm and sacrifices of bodies was norm. And when they lost the 100-year war, they were given a choice. They became Jews. What you see in Ukraine, all the Jews, East European Jews, don't have a single blood of Jewish in them. They're businessmen. They were the way they were. They're still cannibalists. They're still everything else. And now they moved on a deal with Hitler to Palestine. And that's what we see now is business, is not religion. And it's the same with the Romans. Palestine was a business where they used to get their oils and everything else from. So history is repeated. When you study the history of this area, then you see how everything has been changed by these people deliberately in conjunction with a lot of other things to be fit. The rituals have been changed. Everything else has been changed to fit into what we call the frame of work, which does not fit the reality of history. Where we see a lot of us watch, we see the Jews go to the Great Wall. What is this Great Wall? Has anybody asked? We just see it, they bang their heads and they bend back and forth. Has anybody explained to us what is this? This is a wall which was set up of the boundary of the city, in a way, by the Romans. And you read the history how men shake and no women goes to this wall. And if you look at it, it's a sexual behavior. Because again goes back to the woman they worship, which goes back again to Mithraism, which came from the greater wall. They make love to the wall. Go and read the history. Then you understand how meaningless this religion is. This money-making system. And again, added to by Central European, what you call made-up Jews. Have you ever seen a woman going to the Great Wall? The Great Wall, they bang their heads on and they bend back and forth, and the sexual behavior is making love to a woman, to a, what you call a fairy, which again goes back to the history of the Mithraism, being in love with. You watch, you ever see a woman goes to the wall? You never ask yourself that question. Lesbians did not live in those days. So when you talk about the history of religions in this area, you have to understand what was the reality, what is we see physically, and what is a historical, connecting back again to the time, worshipping ideology of what do you call it, an angel. Again comes from Mithra. And now what they call European Jews have put it against the wall that the Roman built, the great wall of what we call the boundaries of the city. Everything else was destroyed inside. There was nothing left of the original Jerusalem. And then they acted this sexual behavior to the wall. Then you understand how much we as humans, historically following the books where the money has set. Historically is different than, but they added literature of the sense of emotion to the history which they made. And this is the way we are today. People who are not from a land, they destroyed another land of the people who are there in the name of occupation. Even they have nothing to do with it, it makes good money. You watch what happened in Gaza in past 2 years. Now the pictures are coming out. They flattened the city. And the president of a nation and the president of a nation got together. Now we can build properties and money in it. And have they lived a single home? No, that was a plan from the beginning. Flatten it out and we make money building it, and they do it every 5 or 10 years. We see in Gaza. Genocide of humanity. Let's see what they write about it and how the Jews will celebrate this in another 100 years in another name. The structure of the state of Israel and Jewish religion has been nothing connected short of money, women, and what we call destroying life. Goes from time Moses to today, hasn't stopped. Being a Jew or making yourself to be a Jew and behaving like one. When you talk about Christ and crucifixion and resurrection, the physical part of the man connected to, recently polished in the past 200-300 years by Vatican, about his behavior while he went on the cross, and then adding the mystery of what was put in by the emperors of the Rome to make the other part which matches one part from you, one part from us. Physically hanging is from the Christians, resurrection and the 3 days from Mitra, from the emperors, and that made the religion you all believe in. In a way, Christianity is what I call Roman Persian Empire religion and way of life. And this is what we see today. Any other questions?
Hey, there was a second part to Eminik's question, which is, could you give us some tips on what to do to gain clarity about our mission so that we can easily perceive when we are straying from it?
We are not a religion. We stay by ethos of ourselves in what we do. This is partially ingrained in my, what I call forehead. Maybe it's just because where I come from, where I was educated, the environment of the family and education I was brought up is the biggest sin till about 200 years ago in Iran was to lie. It still runs part of the East Asia life. And then it became known when the British came. If you live by the ethos of Mitra, which is talk good, think good, and act good, and then that is the cornerstone of life for every one of us, anywhere on this planet, in the ocean, in the depth of the universe. It's part of the life. You do it. You can't do wrong when you do wrong. There's no punishment when you don't talk wrong. You cannot create a wrong environment, and when you don't think wrong, you don't talk wrong, and you don't do wrong. So you keep to your own path. And the guideline for humanity is set by Mitra in different names. And Mitra is the soul of the man in a way, in the dimension of soul of physicality of man, where the soul is the creator, and the soul of the man is Mitra, and manifestation of the law of the man, the physicality of the man. I made man in the image of myself. So I'm the soul in interaction with the environment of what I'm created. I create, manifest the physicality of man. So the soul is the image of the physicality of the man. This is applicable in every corner of the creation. Any other question?
Okay, we have a couple of questions on 3i Atlas, the visitor that's coming into our solar system. Nikolai asks, what we see on the screen today, is it a coincidence that this comes at the same time as 3i and R2's meeting in our solar system? And Antonio asks, can we consider 3i Atlas as the creator or something very close to him?
This is intelligence life. It is maybe it's time for us to let you know something. As of next week, Keshe Foundation enters in changing the social structure and economical structure of the world. The team of the Keshe Foundation in the background working extensively. And if we succeed from next week through the channels we set up, Market Corporation of the United States, Keshe Foundation operation, Keshe Foundation operation in China, in Austria, in Iran, will collectively bring a new change. And with it, we endeavor to bring what we see a change which puts man on the path of what you call three eyes. And we change. Our teams are heavily involved in all directions working with it. And we have taken the position, it's time to bring the change. We have informed Chinese governments through our connections that we're taking this step. In through 3 different channels we operate with, through Chinese military and Central Command, that we will interact, and in so many ways we want to collaborate. We ask collaboration of Chinese to be part of the operation through market cooperation of the United States to start bringing equality and change. And with it will come the knowledge of 3I. It is in the research sector of the Keshe Foundation, we achieved the massive developments. That part of you today are going to touch by it. You're getting touched by it without you knowing. And this will allow, in the near future, for humanity to be that 3I. We've seen what happened to it. We've seen what part of it is there. We've seen it splitting very recently again. And it's not a, it's an intelligence life. Achieved something maybe thousands of years ahead of humanity, and maybe in the cycle of the passage through Earth, humans might have had some influence in where the knowledge for the system is. Everything it does is what we call, is of the manuscript. Many of you understand, if you understood the work on teaching of the Keshe Foundation on the systems, how the system is split, how system follows a pattern, how system can go into depth of the center of the planet using the same. We are getting reports, no agencies confirming it, and so many people, that the system has a split. Part of it is going directly head on into the sun. It will not melt because part of the structure is to go to the center, because the heat which we are baffled by is on the surface. Inside there is no heat, as we know we're on the systems. And when you have the, what we call magnetic field defense, protection, dynamic magnetic field in a plasma condition, billion temperature, it doesn't make any difference, because that's a matter state and you are operating in the energy state. And this is what we call energy of the matter, or matter energy. What we see on the center, on the surface of the sun, is energy of the matter condition in interaction with the matter energy and energy matter. And that's why we get such a high temperatures we look. And the thing is, it's not actually hot. It's hot only in that space gap. The rest of the solar system is not burning. It's ice cold. And it's reality of the system. And we have the knowledge. The knowledge, you, all knowledge seekers have had it. It's in 611, 12 teaching plus other teaching. So, as I said last week or the week before, it looks strange to the others, but if you're a knowledge seekers and you understand the work, you see it's exactly crosses every line of the teaching, or wherever we, if you had a go through the scripts of the teaching, what it says, test been done, people have shown, flight system tested, it crosses and ticks on every point. Every point is according to the law of the plasma. If you work on the matter state, it looks strange, it's not within the law of the physics, yes, physics of the matter. But if you understand, like your knowledge seekers understand the work of the magnetic field in the plasma condition, it's dead on. There is no strange behavior from the system. The ignorance has brought this mysterious thing about it. So is it the knowledge of the God? No, it's another cycle of the energies which have managed to understand and do what the universe does. If you listen to the intro, the beginning when we said we're in the process of transmutation and we had contacted governments, it was all done. And we did it with, bless his soul, John. Then, at that time, everything was perfectly according to what it is, but there was a piece of what we call technology missing. And that piece of missing technology today, you lot are getting in touch with in this teaching of today. If what is getting tested today with you lot on the line, we had at the time of the work with John, with his passport standing in his room, being in this, not manifesting, was with us, he would have manifested stuff. There was a piece of technology missing. Now, you lot are testing. In 5 or 10 years' time, if now we see mankind puts the guns down and start developing technologies, then we will be most probably hundreds of these three eyes in the skies of this planet. There is a huge change of the steps of the knowledge, and is there. It's just we've been misled, and too much energy was spent on wasted times of killing and the rest of it. It's not from God. It's knowledge, especially what we saw in past few days in splitting, and several times splitting, separating, equal the speed, equal the separation. It's like literally like a life of worm. You know, when you kill a worm, you cut a worm, two halves start moving, because a worm has no skeleton background of the way we know, but the structure is an energy way, so it creates its own head and tail and carries on. And it's exactly what this system is doing. It's an energy system. It doesn't have the solid structure back to hold it on to, which brings this condition. We'll see most probably part of it will go right into the sun, absorb into the sun, actually goes inside the sun, never melt, and possibly stays in, or in hundreds of years will come out of the other side, or out of the sun, or about come back out and say, oh, even in the sun it came through. What's it? There's no technology. It's got a magnetic field shielding, which keeps the heat away, allows it high speeds, and there we go. Man studies this object as in the energy matter, as you have to study as a matter of energy. And then you study both together, and then you see what it is. Matter to energy, energy to matter. Any other question?
Okay, we have two hands up here with Toby and Antonio. So, Toby, if you could go first, please, and if you could just say who you are and where you're from, that would be great.
Hello, Rick. Hello, Mr. Kesh. Toby from Anarchy, Australia. How are you?
Thank you very much. Go ahead.
I'm just interested about the plasma energy transmutation units. We haven't heard anything about them for a long time now. They seem to have gone quiet. I'm just wondering if there's been any further developments.
Working on it.
Working on it. Mm-hmm.
Working on it very nicely. But it's the transfer of energy which we have now achieved a lot of different dimensions to it, that it brings, and it should be ready to go. A lot of systems are ready to be added, to be brought in. And
I'm very much looking forward to it.
Yes, it is. It's very interesting what we see. what is developed is progressive knowledge, and we are part of it, and how we are dealing with it and expanding the knowledge. I'm feeling grasp of today's session with this new, what we call uh, uh, systems, structures. It seems a lot of you have moved into the dimension of the energy with a system, which gives us a different, what we call, understanding of the work and how it needs to be done.
Mr. Kesh, while I've got you on the line, for the last 3 years or so, my young son's been going plasma processing with Dr. Kern. And well, we haven't really seen too many results so far after 3 years. Would it be possible for you to have a talk with Dr. Kern at some stage just to see if there's anything further that can be done for little Patrick?
Yes. Arrange you with Dr. Kern and we do it. What happened? How has it gone? How did it change? At the beginning was some changes.
There's some small changes, but he's not progressed much since then. I mean, a little man changes quite a bit between the ages of 6 and 9. But no, he's still in Pampers, as you say, and still not talking.
Are you using the system again with 3 ways?
No, we were doing that, and just recently with the system upgrade, it's gone to one single set of headsets. Yep.
Yes, this is what we realized, that the system was used extensively, and the system has to stop for a period of time to let the brain go to develop. This is the new change which has come in, as people who used it so continuously should have been done so. And I think with the new procedure, that the system should not last more than 6 to 12 weeks, and stop for 3 to 6 weeks, and then start again.
Right.
To let the brain grow on its own. And I think this is how it should be. It should have been done. Arrange a time with Dr. Kern. I know I spoke with you 2-3 years ago.
Yep.
And then we bring a new procedure. It should work, because you have to let the brain grow the way it should do.
Yep. Well, we're always hopeful.
No, it has to be done different way, and I'll have a look at it and advise Dr. Kern what to take the steps. You should let a gap of 3 months, 6 months for the brain to grow. When you're set up, it doesn't grow, it follows to rhythm of the system. So I'll ask Dr. Kern to make a time that we meet, and I'll advise Dr. Kern how the system should be used for it.
Excellent. Well, we'll organise it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Kesh.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Toby. And perhaps we can hear from Antonio now, or is there something else you'd like to say, Mr. Kesh?
No, good.
Good morning, Mr. Kesh. Good morning, Rick.
Hey.
I just the Universal Network unit. When there's enough around the planet, will that create between the people that have that unit like a group consciousness, like a connection between each one of us?
It should do. It should do. These units, the first lot, should be out sometimes, we hope, by the end of latest November. As I said before, 7 units and 3 control units have been completed is in the hand of the people who work with it. They start finalizing or writing, whatever it is, takes 2, 3, 4 weeks to complete, secure it. And then once they're happy, the units will start going out in a batch of 100, 200, and we add the antenna to it. The physical side can be sent out straight away, but it needs to be loaded with the programs. The other side, which is from the universal system communication, we are testing things in our lab for the completion of it, maybe next 2 or 3 weeks. So you receive the information on the net, but you receive the energy and cosmic developments on the side of the second part which you receive. And this should be able to set up to create the energy for forward energy for what we call wellness and the rest of it. And then that will affect.
Yeah.
What we've seen in one of the tests is conversion of the universal field into vibration, which means it takes its frequency. And this is very important. What this means is it works on the harmonic, if you understand the work of the systems. Rick, I'll send you a picture. Let me see how I can get it. This is this brings in the play the what we call the structure of the change of the universal system into what we call to physical dimension, changing the universal energy or energy of the plasma or energy of matter to matter energy, which manifests itself as vibration, and then it becomes energy depending on what the vibration is, which creates what you call frequencies, and then a combination of creating it. This is a very small video, but very significant. You have to understand. Let me see if this cannot be done. Can be done. Okay. What you will see is significant. And Rick, I'll send you this video. The significance of this, what you see, is conversion of cosmic rays into matter state and energy, which this I saved it, but it doesn't come out. Let me see where I can find it.
Mr. Kesh, with the cosmic ray balls, would there be a useful for the One Nation network and the cosmic ray balls? Is there a interaction between the two?
It can be, yes. We can tune into that. Is part of the structure we have set up in the future, yes.
Right.
Just wait 1 second, please. I send this, you can see. Break is loading on your channel. Give it a few seconds. Then I'll tell you when it arrives, you can go into it. And then you understand this is very important. no energy input has been put into this. It's just receiving combination of two different layers of the combination of the cosmic ray into a matter state, creates a vibration, and then you can use this for anything. It's some of you might think, you know, this is not what you see, but this is taking pictures that we don't reveal what we do, but it's about our internal, what we call works. Let me see. Rick is sitting with you if you download it.
It's coming in now. Yes, just bear with me a minute.
Yeah. This vibration, if you look at it systematic, and is conversion of cosmic energy to kinetic energy, or we can do it for anything. It's important. It means we can convert digital data to analog data and everything else, and at the same time we don't need to change it to analog, we don't need to change it to digital, we can change it to emotion. And then your emotion and the thing creates a physical motion, which means you become in control of by your thinking. This is a huge step in this development. And this is getting modified in the lab. And so we can convert, if you look at this vibration, understand it, you can change this into what we call magnetic field motion in the plasma section that can create lift and motion. But with emotion, which means you don't need a system to fly by thinking, and this is a very, what we call, to use a little vibration, this is years of research and development. And in the interaction of these systems in the environment themselves, it can lead to creation of many, many other things. There is another piece of information which is in many ways will bring the changes. With this, understanding this and developing a new part of this technology, which allows the lift, the emotion, and the whole thinking done to be done in one go. This shows itself in a physical dimension. But if you understand potential difference and the vibration, with this you can create motion, you can create electricity. And it's the way the energy is done in the cosmos. So nothing is used. This is just connecting different dimensions of the field strength of the universal magnetic field together. They're passing through this planet, and for the first time we can show it that they create vibration and motion, but now we can control it. And this little vibration is change, and it brings a lot of things because it does everything. You can make it vibrate according to your emotion, and then you understand the control, and then the vibration which creates the energy and the matter with it. Any other question?
Thank you.
You're welcome. It's development of a lot of technologies coming together, understanding, producing. What you see here as a vibration here, part of structure which creates this one, is part of the system which you lot are under today at the moment. And we see amazing results in graphs which are coming in the background of the session. We usually share these things with you. You all have seen the graphs of yourselves and different dimensions, and very interesting is when you see this graph, you see you're all become part of the energy which sits more in the universal energy side than the matter energy side. I'll explain to you, this is the first time we see this, because we are adding to you that kind of, we have connected all of this universal energy. And the amazing thing is, the work on the soul side is totally different than dimension of physicality and the what we call the dimension of the work of the systems. I try to share for you to see. Go there.
Mr. Cash, that
Yes.
the picture for today, peace in the Middle East, it seemed to me a bit of a reality show on Mr. Trump's behalf. I didn't see a positive.
Holding in progress.
But then repeat the last bit, please.
It didn't seem positive to me, the peace in the Middle East. It was just a reality show, a Trump reality show. That's what it's looked like to me. And even now, the killing still goes on in Gaza.
There's a lot of showmanship.
Yeah.
There's a lot of showmanship. And this piece is not done by what you call the will of people. It's done by the bank account of people. Go back what happened to Amman, go back into the summit of the Islamic world, go back into how main sections of the Israel were literally demolished in 12-day war. And then as I was talking to some military people, we had the 6-day war of last century between in Sinai Desert, where they called it the 6-day war, Yom Kippur war. Israel became victorious. We had a 12-day war between Iran and Israel. Most of the Israeli technological development got wiped out. The only way was to do it. When you look at this, you talk about how it is. How did they flatten a nation? When now we see the pictures from inside. It's all pre-planned to do, and now they talk about the peace, but they don't talk about how they've done. Israel has kept 53% of the land of Gaza. They're only given 47% of it back. And most of the side they're keeping is the oil-rich, gas-rich, which Mr. Trump will make a lot of money out of. Now, they're in a very small quarter. All these Palestinians you see, they get paid to become workers, servants in the hotels, resorts, and oil fields, which will be run by the American and the BlackRock lobby. That's all it's going to be. This part left 47% is Gatos. They had to bring some people to the white. And then you see what happened. Why Mr. Trump and the ex-British Prime Minister are heading in this. He'll be the part of it, yes, because his son-in-law's already had $2 billion contract, and the rest of the building goes to the American companies, which him and his family and the rest of them own, and BlackRock works in the background with.
Mr. Kesh, they
covered up 53% of Gaza, the best lucrative part with gas and oil.
But with the cosmic ray technology, Mr. Kesh, eventually the gas and oil won't mean anything, really, will it?
Watch Mercury Corporation announcement next week.
Okay.
You're
Yeah.
heavily involved in that side. Just watch Mercury Corporation announcement next week. I cannot tell anything more.
No, that's all right. No.
We're talking about the Keshe Foundation. But monitor, and then you understand where the changes are going to come.
Okay.
You got to understand there's a very big problem. You got this oil and gas, and now you have the Chinese government controlling 70% of the rare earth material, which is zinc, copper, platinum, and the rest of it. But they control 97% of production. When the West was busy building wars and occupying Middle East and the fake 9/11 and then the fake chemical Saddam business and the rest of it, robbing banks, China robbed the nations of their assets in the form of mines. At the same time, when the factories, when they took these mines, they diverted supplies up to America and Europe, to their own country, to their own refinery. European and American refineries closed because they could not get the supply. The price was too high to handle with it. And so 97% of the processing is now the Chinese. This is how they have cornered the world industry. You can have a gold mine, you can have a zinc mine, but you don't have the processing plant. It's just the rock. And the Chinese, in past 30 years, while the Americans and the Europeans were looting banks of some, God knows, Middle Eastern nations, and the Chinese looted the, what do you call, the reserves of the actual stock. And they've done the same thing with Kazakhstan, they've done the same thing with China, with Russia. What I call colonialism through economy, which is worse than the actual, what the British did to the rest of the Africa and the French. So we see the Americans are even fighting for rare earth materials in Ukraine and the rest of it. It's just hit Mr. Trump on his head that, okay, BlackRock the same, okay, we get these mines, but we don't have the refineries. There are very few, very odd, small refineries who can handle even after processing with China. Even you get these mines, it takes you up to 10 years to set up refining capacities to even meet a fraction of demand of the West. So you get this, you have to go back to the Chinese.
Checkmate.
They got checkmated while they were robbing. They were too busy robbing central banks. Chinese were too busy locking central banks. And we see it. Mr. Trump bid something on a Friday and bought it back on Sunday, but he made himself nearly $400 billion of profit. And we see the situation. We respond to this situation in the coming months. Keshe Foundation will, through its arms, Mercury Corporation, Chinese Corporation, and Iran operation, will bring back some sort of structure in the way we see it. If they don't try to shut us down, we'll start working with what we promised. And we will keep to that structure. Everything is there, but everything is taken away to be there. And the Chinese have locked up the world industry. In a way, up to now, we had the America, the British, the French, partially, what do you call, the smallest nation in Europe holding the biggest nation in Africa as what do you call it, colony. Now we have every single nation, every territory on this island as a colony of China. And in past 2 or 3 weeks, what was hidden in public now has come to public. And nobody has brought it more into public than Trump. He banned any shipping. 70%, 80% of the world shipping is owned and on different titles Chinese. They put hype on material. Chinese control 97% of it. We have one superpower at the moment, and that's China. The rest are pretenders. There's a very good saying in English, comes your background, fur coats and no knickers. The fur coat is bought by the Chinese and no knickers on the streets is the American structure. Now we see the world has become one nation colony. China and the rest of the world has become its colonies. Russia is in debt to China for life. Everything they can put out will go to China for what they received in Ukraine and giving their industry. Kazakhstan, the richest oil nation on this planet, and people living just above poverty because they have sold everything to China to get the industry place going, plus the huge bribery. The nation suffers, and all the world's at cheap prices are going to China. Africa is the same. South America is in the same bed. America is worse in the same bed, and Europe cannot do anything without it. So the world has become one nation, one colony. Nations is China, and colonies are the rest of us. They showed it with the shipping, they showed it with the raw material, and now we see the superiority in the space and military.
Yeah. The only way out, Mr. Cash, is to share the resources which belong to everybody.
You see, there's a very big problem. I explained this to Russia, what do you call it, the Chinese military. China is taking everything from every nation to the benefit of China. And now it's become worse colonization than the British did with Africa. Economical support doesn't come, especially in the past 5 years, by reducing the prices to a minimum you can, and you can get the best for your nation, and that the other nation suffers. We see that in Kazakhstan clearly, we see it in Africa clearly. I worked in Kazakhstan for 20 years, and the time of after 1991 was much better than today, because the government has whatever makes at 40-50% discount oil is given to China. China is getting cheap oil for its nation. Kazakhs are suffering, and then they're in debt for the next 25 years. The nation cannot move because let's say 100 billion loan, 25 years, nation pays interest, 100 billion, 20 billion was given to the bosses as a bribe. No, they take it as a bribe, the nation pays interest on that 20% on top of what the bosses took. Kazakhstan will never come out of it. Where the correct way was to pay Kazakhstan market prices, 3%, 5% discount, not 50%. Trying to get the people fed is killing people with hunger. And we see this now. There will be, if China does not change the pattern, there will be a backlash on China very, very soon. Much faster than they think. We saw the first backlash last week in Holland. The governments will take over Chinese assets, and they can't do anything, and they invested, so they can block, they can say we don't do Without the investment return, there is no investment. It has to become fair, but would China bring that fairness back is totally different proposition. At the moment, you look, Chinese are doing business anywhere around the world, they want 50% discount. What is left? The skin is gone, the bone. And this was not supposed to be. It should be fair. And they blame the rest of the world. Now Chinese are doing what the Europeans did to the rest of the world, so it's a different part of the world, but now they're doing it to the whole world. What? There's a massive resentment in Africa with the Chinese because of the same behavior. And the government silencing them. But if the whole world turns, then China has lost its looks as a winner, but still, as we saw how they kicked the French out of Central Africa and the West Africa, they will kick Chinese out if they don't bring the balance back. It's nice to have roads where they can get the gold from the mines in the center of a nation to the port to take it, because the road doesn't feed the people. China's leadership has made a huge mistake, especially in the past 5 years, strangling. They had a better policy in the past, but since One Belt, One Road, this has gone totally wrong. Needs to be corrected by the central government. They will invest and they will lose. Because nations cannot pay, and when you cannot pay, it does not matter what you do. Chinese cannot burn more than certain amounts, cannot do anything else, and the wealth of the nations will go back on them. It took 300, 400, 500 years for the Africans to revolt against French, and the British started. With the Chinese will be months and years. We see the same.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Kesh. Thank you.
You're welcome. Those of you who bought shares from or through and holding Mark Ray, stick to it very hard. We have started moving after 7 years of taking over Mark Ray. Any other question? In a way, sorry about that. In a way, we counterbalance China. You will understand very soon. We counterbalance China with the help of China, and that all should bring what we are looking: equality and fairness. You will understand in the coming days and weeks that has to be done. Otherwise, there's an alternative. And many of you been part of that alternative. I brought you into it without you knowing. When you bought the cosmic ray materials in your hand, showing you can convert energy to mass, then everything has to be equal, because others can do it if you don't open the doors and don't bring fairness. We do it, or you do it for yourself. You soon understand. Just keep an eye on market corporation announcements in the coming weeks, and then you know exactly why we become a counterbalance to China. But the fairness, and it brings the operation between China and Keshe Foundation will bring fairness and many, many things in equal and balance. Sometimes when somebody wins the table, gets carried away and gambles a little bit more, he just needs a small reminder. We are not a small reminder. But understand. Any other question?
Yes, we have another hand up with Azar. Please go ahead, Azar.
Good everyone. I have a question regarding, in Christianity, they say you have to pay tithing, you pay some money from the lot of income you have. And then I realized in Muslim they say,
What are you
like,
talking about?
they
Can
call
you
it
talk a little
zakat.
bit louder?
Have a percentage.
Azarjan,
Can you hear me?
can you speak a bit louder? You're very soft. Didn't your mom give you food in Tehran?
Yes, can you hear me?
It's
Yeah.
a weak connection
Very
as well. Yes.
It's like you didn't
think,
have breakfast yet.
Guys, can you hear me? Can you hear me
Yeah,
now?
but it looks like,
It's good. It's
you're not
okay
getting
now.
fed very well in Tehran. Ask mom to give you a little bit more honey.
I need more meat. Maybe.
Can you speak a bit?
I need kebab. Can you hear me now?
Yes, but it's very, very
Okay.
soft.
I don't know. Maybe it's the any connection, because I have to turn up my VPN in order to get into the Zoom. That's why I'm doing.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's a poor connection. You'll have to speak very slowly and enunciate and get close to the microphone. Hello? Try again, Ezra. I think, oops, she dropped out. I think she has a bad connection there, so.
Yeah. Azar is in Tehran, so she has a bad connection. By the way you hear Azar, you know which part of the world is traveling she is.
Yes, right. Okay, so let's see. There's Azar back again. Let's see if she's able to have a better connection. Hello,
Can you
Azar.
hear me now? Can you hear
that's
me?
better.
Yes.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay. So in Christianity, they say you pay part of your money that you earn to other people. Like in Islam, also they say you pay a certain percentage. Like they call it khums and zakat. And then I don't know about Judaism or Buddhism, none of that. But then my question is, when they put a measurement on it, like, okay, if I make $10,000 a month, I give 500 to somebody or some group. But then my question is, if I encounter something that they need my $10,000, I have to give all my $10,000. So why they put measurement on it? You do as it necessary. You give all of your money.
This is what most of these structures have this, because that's how they could finance keeping the people going and what they needed to do, because it came from the Roman time and before. Religion found another way of taxing, but on the name of religion. When we used to live in south of Italy, when you go towards Estonia and you go towards Trani and down, you see a lot of piles of stones. And then when you go further south, out of Bari, you see houses with little domes. It's like we see the head of the mosque is like this, but now it's become fancy, very expensive. These stones now has been put up together. During the Roman time, they taxed you by the size of your building or what you had as a house. So there were people who were running ahead of the Roman army or tax people collecting, telling people that the taxman is coming. They used to build houses out of a stone, so they demolished the stone that there was no house. When the taxman gathering the tax gone, they used to put a stone back and they had their house back. You understand? Like Eskimos,
Yeah.
they use with the ice block. In this part of Italy, they do it with the stones. Italians are on the line, they can tell you. And we used to live near the Barry's office and everything was on this side. Whenever we went out, we saw it. This pile of stones. When you saw a pile of stones, it was somebody's house during the Roman time, for example. They used to tax people according to the size. Religions put it on the conscience and tax it. It's another way of governing.
Okay.
And that's all it is. You understand?
Yeah.
And nowadays, we find different ways government find it. This is Because these laws of religion is made by man, so man follows what is in format.
Because somebody told me if you don't pay khums zakat, you're going to go to hell. And I said,
Yeah, that's always been when they frighten you, you do it. It's what I got. I told you, I've said this years ago when I went to Iran in 2008, after 33 years, I was puzzled that every few meters there's a letterbox. I said to my bodyguard, what are, Iran has always the best internet. How come you have these letterboxes every 100 meters or so? He started laughing. He said, this is not letterbox, Mr. Kess. He said, these are for homes of zakat. You pay in there. If you do something wrong, you put your money in. I said, where does this money go? He says, nobody knows.
yeah.
Whoever's got the key collects the money.
Yeah, because there was a girl I recently heard that it was a family member. I think they're very religious. I haven't seen them for a long time. They're living home, and then there was a suitors. They went to the house for proposal to get married, and the girl asked the man, "Do you pay your home to zakat?" He said, "I hardly make enough money. I cannot pay until maybe later." So she didn't marry him. And I said, so
Yeah, but
for
this is
that,
when
I
I
mean,
saw when I saw these boxes, I said, this is the payment to the God, is God's letterbox. Man have found out how to get paid, get God paid. Yeah,
yeah, okay.
it's very, you understand, this is all made by the man. It's the same process.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
I know exactly what you mean. It's the same when you go into the church to pass a bucket.
Yeah.
And some people, they look how much you put in there.
Okay. I have
Yeah.
another question. When you look at the trees, and when you look at the leaf, and on top of it, there's a line of dust cover them. Because in Tehran right now, I look at all the trees because it doesn't rain enough. All the trees really are dirty. Like they have a layer really of dust. Somebody has to I touch one of them, I remove the dust from it, it became nice and shiny. But how do they breathe when the dust sits on them?
They transfer energy.
So it's okay.
Of course. Did they die? Any of them is dead? No, it's transfer of energy.
Okay, but they look dirty.
There, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
It's and receives the energy.
The bottom is okay, but the top is covered with a layer of dust.
Yeah, there's not a problem for the plant. They adapt.
Okay.
They need a layer of fat, so it doesn't matter what goes in between. And maybe sometimes it's a good thing to get in.
Okay. Okay.
That's
Thank
not
you.
a problem. Thank you very much,
Thank you.
Ajahn. Be
Thank you.
safe.
Thank
Be
you.
safe.
I will. Thank you.
Any other question?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Cash. We have a question from Anne-Marie in German. Translates to, good morning, Mr. Kesh. Was Mithra's daughter born to a woman? And if so, did the mother know about it? And was Jesus's origin the same? And does this have anything to do with comets?
The answer to the first question is yes. The answer to the second question is yes. I don't know what you're talking about, the last part.
It was Jesus's origin the same?
The soul, yes. As a physicality, no. It's two different things.
And do these births have anything to do with comets?
Not really. Historically, things are put together. When we get these things, comets are comets, they bring out. When you get other conditions, they bring enlightenment and enrichment, and with that comes new cycle of wisdom. This has been and will be not only for this planet, but the whole of the universe. So we see this right across in every shape or form. We lost the pictures I was loading up for you to see. Have a look at your pictures now, and then I try to explain. I'm going through this rigmarole of bringing things up. Share photos. Tip, 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 tip. I have to choose something from this and I explain to you one by one. If you remember the pictures of the past we had, was very interesting. We had the division and separation. If you see the shape of the picture today, because of the connections and system we set up, if you look, your shape is somewhere around here. This is your side. You are totally encircled in dimension by universal energy. The soul side, the soul of physicality side. And then this is your dimension of physicality. Through the connection we set up, you're all in a different, receiving different energy. And I expect a lot of you will behave different and will receive and be very, very different in that structure. Just wait. You're looking at the picture. I lost my system. Couple of once it's connected. Let's see if we are reconnected. Yes, we are reconnected again. Share. I go back again, and if you watch, if you remember, and it's very faint. This time it's not very clear. So it means what we set up to do. It's a new structure, and with it, you see your line is all scattered here. Scattered here is here, soul of physicality, and then back in. Before you had a bit there, comes bit here, and bit there. Now you're all different. Watch this. Let me clean up because otherwise you have a problem with all these dots. And watch this one. This is the most clear one. If you look, because of the energy cycle, because of the position, we are transferring through this time, through the new system. If you look, you have a little here. Is a spreadic, this, which means we have totally connected you to universal energy. And if you want to know why, how this is, maybe we can show you something very strange. Let me see if I have it here. I'll show you. Leave it. Oh no. Cancel. Stop sharing. Go back to share. The corporate is another version of this. You've never seen this material before. You all are getting interacted with this. It's not white. If you see it, depends on your thing. It's a shade of light, very, very light blue. This is a new addition to the piles of the Keshe Foundation materials. It's the first time you can see carbon-14 on the cosmic ray level. But what is interacting with you in the systems where you saw is very much on the energy side, and you all are reacting to it. You all have reacted, are interacting, and we'll see by the end of the day where this will sit. You have all shifted away from physicality. We don't see any physical condition at all here. Which this is what we set up here, to connect to your soul and the dimension of universal cosmos, and you see it. We don't need to explain. And this was the purpose of today's testing. This was missing, to transmute you through the dimension of the field of the universe. And then we have a switch system to change you to matter state, or the physical state of the gas. You see nothing here, not even a dot. And if you go back in the pictures you have in the teaching, see what you always saw here, this area. Physically you're here in a physical man, but the soul is totally connected, it's captured. And it straight drops. It doesn't go in that way, it straight drops out. Any other question? Can we have a break for about 5 or 10 minutes, and then we come back and we finish about 10 to 12?
I think it's 10 to now already, Mr. Kesh.
Is 10 to...
You wanted to quit in 10 minutes, didn't you?
No, just have a break for about 5 or 10 minutes, and then we finish in an hour and 5 minutes or so.
Oh, okay. Good.
Okay.
Yeah, 3 hours, that's right. Okay, thank you.
Okay, just give us a break for a few minutes.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay, let me get my screen back up here. Okay, we are at the break in the 612th Knowledge Seekers Workshop here on Thursday, October 16th, 2025. And I thought I would play a 10-minute video called Let Me Tell You Something Very Interesting. That is an excerpt from the 610th Knowledge Seekers Workshop with Mr. Kesh. And that'll be our break video. And we'll be back in about 10 minutes for the second part of the show.
Mr. Kesh, I've got to just come at it from one other angle. It's good to hear that news that you are being protected by the law. On some level, But surely we could raise $6,000 and hire 3 independent commercial labs to do that carbon sequestration test, video it,
It's
cut it
been
up.
done. It's been done. It's been done.
But
The,
if we
the oil companies already have the answer for the CO2 crisis, which is to pump the CO2 into the ground. It's very big business for them now.
It's brilliant.
Subsidized by the government.
Let me tell you something very interesting. There are knowledge seekers on the line. They're listening. They know who it is. One of the leaders of the, what do you call it, top guys in Keshe Foundation, he's on the line, or he listens to it. He knows who he is. We went to China Gas Corporation headquarters with the top appointed academician of Chinese government. We took our systems in. We showed the absorption. We showed the production of the gas. What did the academician do? I don't understand it. Because China Gas Corporation has got a 400 billion contract to dump the gas into the ground and hide it in there. And he's one of those who signed to it. If you want to release his name, Chinese government can go after him. We've done that. It's been done. We have one of our collaborators in another part of the world, which now they're trying to get us to work with another organization in America for the same job. But there is a twist into this that, as I said, we don't release a lot of knowledge, but there's a twist in CO2, huge twist, that it'll be to the benefit of the Keshe Foundation. You just gotta wait. The benefit of the Keshe Foundation CO2 capture, with capturing reduction in CO2, is nothing compared to what is there to be done. But as you know, we learn. We keep very quiet, very quietly. If you are in a commercialization of any part of the Keshe Foundation technology, and you've done research and development in any part, and you need, not just so you're making something, little gases and you sell. There are a large number of knowledge seekers who are around the world. They have set up companies and they do little things with the Keshe Foundation technology and add something else, and they're making a living, but they're adding technologies or using technology different way. Get in touch with Keshe Foundation. If we see appropriate, we bring you under umbrella and we'll give you facilities for research and development and commercialization. We already have started. It's not something we're going to do. We already started with a number of knowledge seekers who have shown a viable commercial business, and they, at the moment, done research. They do some other work, so combine the Keshe Foundation technology with others, but still under the banner of the using the plasma technology. They're joining us. It's just getting set up. We are looking for, it doesn't matter which country you're in. We don't want retailers or resellers or somebody who just makes a gas. Some of the knowledge seekers have gone through the research development into setting up companies, agriculture, and all sorts. Get in touch with us. We'll look at it. We might even bring you into the research side, or bring your company into research, development, and commercialization. You run it in conjunction with the Keshe Foundation. We don't want to get involved in your side of business. But if we see something advantageous towards our work, we bring you in. We already have agreed with a few of the knowledge seekers this way. They're merging their companies into Keshe Foundation. But they run it because they understand the commercialization of their work and what the knowledge from the Keshe Foundation can do. If you are doing such a thing, You develop the technology and you want to reach higher, deeper research. Yes, we are ready to discuss. If you have any experience with bioagriculture, deep way of bioagriculture, in conjunction with the Keshe Foundation technology, and you already run a commercial venture, but you still do research and other thing, we would like to speak with you. If you do anything with, as part of the work using the gas technology, with the what you call regeneration of, or getting more active, or what do you call it, changing of the, whatever you call it, the energy, we are interested to talk with you. If you run a company on this basis or you develop part of the technology, to join the Keshe Foundation Research and Development and Commercial. You run the commercialization, we create the ground for it. And we join you with the others, especially those of you who are in bio production of the, what you call, agriculture. We are looking for people with experience, large experience with the culture, because we bring everything together and we give it an umbrella of the work of the Keshe Foundation in a very large scale. Get in touch, info@keshe.foundation. Those of you who have experience in, as I said, microchips, production of microchips, systems, not the chips themselves, so much systems, we are interested to know. Those of you very good in system controls of the, what we call advanced plasma technology, we are interested to know. There are a large number of Americans who are becoming unemployed in these fields. We are interested to talk, but under the understanding that you run already a business and you want to bring it into what we call a larger scale research and development of facilities, and you bring in everything in and we put everything together. Shall we call it a day?
Thank you, Mr. Keshe.
Thank you very much indeed. Thank you indeed.
Sure, if you wish, Mr. Keshe.
If you want another one question or two, we answer and then we go. I received a note. Please, those of you for Halloween and New Year, or what we call the Christmas package, once we reach that, because of the shortage of time, there can't be a large quantity of it produced. Please complete whatever it is, because they're going to block it. It's very few numbers. It's just something was done, and due to circumstances was delayed in delivery by and completion. So the numbers are very limited. Thank you very much, Rick. One more question and then we go. Can you stop talking, please?
Okay. Was that you, Mr. Keshe? And
yeah.
Okay, I thought it was on her movie there, and it got a little confusing. No. That wasn't my voice.
Okay.
All right.
Those of you who run operational companies using Keshe technology, we, due to the things which are about to happen, and it's to develop, it's developing, you can become part of the market cooperation in the stock shares exchange. If you have considered, and is good for the market cooperation, you can become part of or in share exchange when negotiation is done for your company to become part of the stock market in US as a subsidiary or the boundaries of work of the market. There you take the shares of the market, will take the part of your company, you become part of the structure, and market corporation becomes a shareholder and a promoter. As what is about to happen, you will understand in the coming weeks what is going to go. You can choose to stay with the Keshe Foundation, or you choose to become part of the market corporation of the United States as an operational entity. You still stay independent, but go on the total work of the, what we call international work of the technology, what is happening. As I said earlier on, we haven't changed course. We are mature enough to stop or to the way we've done and start a process of bringing different aspects of technology into what we call validation. At this moment of time, the stock exchange in what we call pink sheet in US, and very soon, coming months, maybe a year or so, in Shanghai stock market. This is what we're working on, and then we split the two sides of the non-Chinese and the Chinese cooperation partnerships will be done through structures which are setting up through Shanghai Corporation, or what we call stock market, the same as we done with Macri, but now in a very systematic way. The work has started, and you'll hear very soon about what's going on. Any other question?
Okay, let's we'll look at our questions here. Again, I remind our attendees, you can put your virtual hand up so we can open your microphone. There was a question from Paul, which translates to do the cosmic rays that we received, the cosmic ray device that we received before, change over time?
What does that mean?
Does it wear out, or does it continue its activation?
This act is connected to universal links energies. These are not matter states. It's live. If you take pictures of this, keep it in one place and keep a picture of it, you see it changing. It's like when you had the gas sensor before, it was sometimes green, it changes to yellow or white. Take periodic picture of your, what do you call it, your cosmic ray balls, and see what changes you see. Don't move it, just in one place. It's a living thing. It's not a stone sitting there on its own.
Okay, and in a similar vein, with Renzo has a question. If you build a star tetrahedron with gold, titanium, nickel, and hydrogen fields, can you interact and connect with 3i Atlas?
Bye. Let us know if you're still here. This 3i, it is a living control system, highly intelligent. What we've seen, especially in the past, if the reports, what is coming from different agencies and groups is correct, that it has split in two equal halves, and they said, oh, the sun has exploded into pieces. No, it's very controlled. They move the two units. If you explode, you go in different directions. The new parts are moving in the same direction. The number of what I call the children has increased in a drastic way, which is more sub-satellites. And one is supposedly heading towards Earth, which is actually carrying on with its own original line that will meet. The other part of it is gone, and it sticks to its factor pulse, which shows it has intelligence. 22 seconds, 2 hours and 22, and that kind of sequences. And The strange thing is, if you split your gun, it's like a magnet. The two, if you break a magnet, the two pieces have the same characteristic. The 2, 3, 4 pieces all carry the same, what you call a space gap. Follow, change the same direction and dimension. And so, what you call interaction of these things with each other creates plasma lights, like the way you see have the plasma balls. If you're in the college, you see the lights when you touch the ball, it comes to you. We see them having that kind of line of connections continuously. Every single report which is genuine and is coming from the different observers and observer laboratories, more and more confirms we are dealing with a spaceship. Very highly intelligent spaceship. And one of those spaceships which colonizes, because it shows that characteristics, has too many passengers downloading. You have to understand the process of creation of the soul. Then you don't need nickel, hydrogen, and the others. You create the soul. Stop being physical matter state. Work with energy, you can get what you want. Any other question?
Nikolai in our webinar chat has a question about satellite souls. Is there anything that those who have signed up to be satellite souls can do to support the process we are currently in as mankind?
You are already in it, you don't know. I remember, as I said once before, when we start asking for a World Peace Treaty, some brilliant objected that I have committed my soul to Christ. I cannot give that to the foundation. So we don't give it to the foundation, you give it for the peace between yourself and your soul. It's the same with your satellite people. When you accept it, you're already in it now, especially with what we set up. Then, as I say, the process has begun. You will understand. The most important thing is, ask your family, ask your friends, see what they say about you, how you changed, and how they see you compared to the past. Any other question?
Okay, we had a question from Theodora. And I'm thinking maybe there might be other people having this kind of issue as well. So I'm bringing up, it says, lately I've been witnessing something shocking. I fell asleep while I'm driving the car instantly without warning. Something about, I think they mean I was the author of 2 accidents and a devastating impact on the car last Friday night, October 11th. Does it have to do with the Thursday sessions or something else that happens in the universe from solar flares or from the impact of those fertilizing spaceships? Thank you, Mr. Cash.
Is it to do with the cats sleeping on the wall?
Well, the point is, we have a lot of things that are interacting, it seems, with humans that normally in their lives, perhaps they weren't aware of these other influences, or perhaps the other influences just weren't interacting as directly as they are now. But it seems like people are opening up more to the soul level, and maybe that has unexpected disturbances to the physicality, for example.
I, you can't say yes, you can't say no. It's a
Too
land
many
of unknown.
factors involved. There's too
Yeah,
many strings
too many
attached.
things. We do things, we don't think about it. Other people do things, we don't think about it, and then years later, far later, we find out it's the consequence of what was done to us or to our other people near us, to what happens. Now, we see a lot. This is increased beyond imagination, but they all put it out in different things. There's a lot of massive, rapid strokes out of nowhere. Cancers with a short life, 2 months, 3 months from finding out till death. We see a lot of these things in past 12 months, and a lot of it no one knows, but indications are vaccination. We had during Corona, or the Corona we caught now suddenly changes something and brings this up. Many young people are dying out of with no reason, apparently, in all sorts of conditions, even elderly people with no reason, and getting attributed towards the injections we had 3 years ago. If this picks up into 5 to 7 years, it'll be huge losses. But we see this, you see accidental people are not there, and they call it the heart attack, but when some cases they've done special see why, they find calcification of the heart, which we never had before.
The statistics I was reading yesterday, the heart is just taken over as the major killer in the whole world, as taken over from COVID, which was the greatest killer for the last few years, apparently. And now it's
with the heart, yeah.
What they call heart, but it's perhaps related to either COVID or vaccine. It's hard to say which.
It's calcification. We see a lot of solid hearts, which hearts usually soft. There are reports that the heart of a lot of these people it feels like it's got texture in it, which is very abnormal. We have to live with it. It's gone, it's done, it's damage. We got to see who takes what and what it is. Nobody knows what these vaccines were put in, done, and the government forced people to take it 2 or 3 doctors, specialists. If this pattern works and we lose a lot of doctors, what's going to happen? Because the people in the front line were forced to have injections. We see a surge in some sectors of diseases connected to back end of the Crohn. But it's a topic you can't talk to me, and you talk, you end up in prison.
Yes, we're probably better off not discussing it here.
Yeah.
Although it's opening up a lot more than it used to be in terms of that. We have
this doctor took us all for a ride with Mr. Microsoft. He's soft everywhere, so his brain is soft too. You can't help it. Any other questions? If there's something, shall we call it?
Maybe one more, which you want to wrap this up here. From Steve in the YouTube, who says, "Hello, Mr. Kesh. You spoke last week about the separation of the neutron as radiation. Can you speak more about how we could practice the process?"
Well, depends.
Oh, sorry. Steve says later in the chat here, he says, "I meant electron, not neutron." Well, I thought neutron made more sense, but separation of the electron as radiation. How can we practice the process?
It can do that with neutron too. It doesn't matter. In this, you cannot do it unless you're aware of what you do. It's in the world of chemistry, they call it sharing electrons. Where when you do that, you allow electron to move in a new orbit, new condition. But you go one step further. You share with a larger dimension strength field outside, which takes the electron out of the boundary of its atomic structure. In a way, you fool it or you force it, and this will bring a lot of new dimensions of work. And when you do this, because you're working outside the environment of the atom, you create cosmic radiation. You need dilution of the fields, you need the extraction of the plasma, and it's very easy to do, but once you understand it, it's not hard to achieve.
Is that a natural process in space?
It happens in space naturally, yes. Actually, most of the moons are created this way. Most of the moons are created through this principle. Partially is rejection, partially is attraction in two different dimensions. If you look at the 3i uses it very well. I watched many of the pictures in coming up, not these fancy pictures they show you in the screen, but in reality of how this thing works is the good example of it. This system continuously uses the, what you call it, reverse interaction, and every time it uses it uses massive explosion, because they don't understand it's like putting a bread in your hand and pulling it apart. It's not an explosion from inside. If it explodes, it goes to pieces. But if you get a, what do you call it, piece of bread and pull it apart, it cuts on a certain line, according how much you want, how you want to twist the bread, what shape to make out of it in two halves. And 3i does this very well, using separation of the fields in ahead and behind it. It anchors itself every time it has made connection to the sun. It has anchored itself for tearing apart, and then it anchors itself back on the direction of the flight of it to where it came from, most probably to another star, and the two in connecting give energy, which gives a balancing, allows it to split. It's a very clever system. It's a very advanced technology. They are aware of the works. The technology we understand. When this building want to replicate it. And this is why, if you listen to all of these things, and we always said, they said the light, of course the light is in the front, I said last week, the week before, it creates a field ahead of it. It has a reason. At high speed, anything comes in. Because people cannot see this light ahead. Is a dynamic rotating thing that anything comes on the way just gets screwed up. Possibility of this hitting this thing is zero. Secondly, it has a magnetic field dimension, it also has a protection. It's got an atmosphere. We've spoken about this many times past 10, 12 years. We are living, we are working, we are watching a dynamic system. And if you understand this, and then you understand how you spill the plasma, you create a condition much, much stronger, but on a specific field strength which matches the electron, and you can extract the extra electron. And when it comes out on this path with the interaction with the field which is pulling it on this environmental, it creates cosmic rays. A massive amount of energy. Massive amount of energy. Any other question? This is why, as I said, Keshe Foundation, through our way we have set things up, be open, and opportunity is given to us by actually the Americans, and then the reaction of the Chinese and every other thing, for us to come in as a third alternative. If they shut us down, would they bring mark rate down? Would they, where the technology will come in to be accepted in a different dimension? We have to wait and see in next few days, next few weeks, and how the market reacts with the announcements one after another, which Keshe Foundation, and everything is scientifically backed. It's not just we say so. And would we become counterweight against those who end the war, but now they can create a mayhem for themselves that become a balance point with the knowledge to be shared.
Can we ask one more question of you, Mr. Keshe?
Yeah.
Okay, and we have a good one from the Q&A here from, well, anonymous attendee. Says, hello everyone, and special thanks to Mr. Keshe, Rick, and all the knowledge seekers in the back for your tireless work on the elevation of the planet. My name is Emmanuel from Germany, and my question is about the space travelers that are paying our solar system a visit at the moment. Since their technology and knowledge is so far ahead compared to ours, is there anything that can be interesting for them to learn from humanity and Earth besides the process of transmutation? You once mentioned the way of loving that's common between Earthlings. What might be their exchange with other civilizations in the solar system?
In matter state, humanity is very advanced. In energies state, man is baffled with the stupidity and arrogance and ignorance. So, if these people would like to learn anything about the material world, humans are best of it. If it comes for man to understand the work of the energy, they tackle the wrong guy. Yes, they learn a lot from us, from computers, microchips, how we handle stupidly bacteria. Knowledge of man in matter state is very advanced. The way we envy them sitting in that UFO, they envy us coming up 4-wheelers to this position. Don't forget, these travelers have seen us many times. They have seen us, being on the donkey, not drinking water from somewhere and dying, not knowing always got a microbe in it. And now we become very good in matter state. The counterpart is the other side, is the energy state which they use is puzzle to us as much as we are puzzled to them with the matter state. But now we understand the matter state, and we start understanding the energy state, so we sit on both boats. 4-wheelers have learned a little bit more. Yes, they do. They come, they learn from us, engines, computers, but they laugh at us because we haven't learned about the working of the energy of the matter. And on the other hand, one question I put before, are you sure every time you sit on the train, the one next door to you is from this planet? 30% no. If you want to make a man, you have to do a lot of work in 9 months per, what do you call it, pregnancy and the rest of it. If you want to work with the energy of the man, it's instantaneous. You don't need the man. Man has chosen the hardest way. You remember the song says, sorry seems to be the hardest word. That applies to mankind, and the path is taken. But we're still there for other people to learn. Any other question?
Thank you, Mr. Kesh. I think we let you go.
I just received a note. Those of you who ordered Halloween bundle, it should be leaving before next Friday, or maybe much earlier, that you have it by next Friday. Hopefully, it will be released or be sent out Monday, Tuesday. And if any of you putting any order, it has to be by tomorrow or Sunday latest, that it can be handled, to be dispatched, to be with you for Halloween. It's a beautiful package. I've seen it. It's very nice. And the same goes with the Christmas bundle. Which is not Christmas bundle this year. Last orders will be around about anything received before 10th of November. And after that, they won't accept any orders because it has to be done properly to be ready for. We usually leave it to the last minute, not this year. They're well ahead. Any other question? I answer one more question. If there, otherwise we call it a day. I have to go into another meeting. Are you there?
Yes, I'm just having a look here. Just a second. We do have a hand up with Miranez, so let's go ahead, Miranez. You get the last question.
Yes, I always have the last. Hello, Mr. Cash. Hello, Rick. Thank you very much for all the treasures you give us freely, and I wish you all the best. So my question is from past time. It's a long question, maybe because, the answer because I'm comparing the blood circulation in the body with the energy circulation in the body, which from the old time they have put the map on it, and they're used in acupuncture, qigong, tai chi, this old stuff, kind of medicine, Chinese medicine, part of Chinese medicine. So how this energy circulation in the body is created? Is it created according to the needs of the system naturally, or like the blood circulation?
It has different reasons. It's cellular structure, bone structure, environmental pressures, environmental inertia, all sorts of things. It's not one thing. It's very interesting. The evolution in certain races is very amazing if you're observing it, if you're watching it. You This we observe because of the research and other things which sometimes comes handy in when you work, you get the natural, what do you call it, samples of it. We see Black Americans, tall, well-built, huge feet. Race has been there. They've grown into over decades and centuries or whatever. Well, now we see Chinese and some Japanese guys, tall, with very small feet. You go to a shoe shop in the West, 46, 47 always is available. Some shops keep size 47.5, normality. And in Chinese shops, Japanese shops, you ask for 45, we don't keep. And you see so many tall guys, all wear shoes. We adapt, and ourselves adapt according to the environment, according to what we call local inertia gives and develops. They extended the height in the tallness, but the feet which is there and the size and shape of the feet brings a lot of different understanding, mentality, emotion, and all sorts of things. And it's not there. Next time if you go to China, ask for a size 46, they look at you, are you idiot? Doesn't exist. You go to European shops and Western shops, ask for 47, it's normality. It would like 47.5, we have that size too. It does matter, it brings a change, and what we do locally and how we feel emotionally and how environmental condition affects our structure of our body and how we look, how we feel, what emotions we carry. And it's collective. And when sometimes we take one race from one part of this planet to another, the two don't understand each other because the structure of the brain, it creates different logic in the inertia of the space. This is the same right across down every aspect of the knowledge science of the creation. Oh, that's really what you're looking for.
Thank you very much, sir, for your time. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for being with us, and hopefully we'll share new structure. We open a new dimension of teaching next week. Again, goes back to part of the time and evolution of time and connection with the soul and the rest of it. And this opens up a new dimension into structure. But what we have today from your graphs is very interesting. And what we see is more or less in line with what we were looking for. To interact, spread the soul, then collective one soul, which means connecting to universal energy. And we see that, and in so many ways we are on target to run a test for you lot for the last Friday of this month. I hope you enjoyed when you come in the environment. Thank you very much. And I go back into it. Please still support us. We need more of these units to be purchased for the communication. We need much more, and please support us to be able to complete and set this up. See you next week.